Hello, this is the All Ireland podcast, and with me today I have Jane and Paddy of Eve's Record Box. So thanks very much for joining me, guys.
Hey.
How you doing?
So just to get the ball rolling, can you tell me a bit about the band, how you get started, and as well as that, what kind of genre is your music, and how would you describe it to someone that hadn't heard it before?
Okay, well, what genre, how would you describe it?
Well, it's kind of in between jazz and pop, I suppose. Like, I mean, a lot of the harmony we use in the songs would be kind of jazz harmony, like, because we started off playing jazz, like we started off doing gigs together, like two-piece gigs and full band gigs. But then we just started writing as well, so.
Yeah, we started off playing standards, like, because I'm a jazz singer and Paddy's jazz guitar player. That's kind of like where we're coming from as musicians. So I had some jazz gigs on the go, so I started playing with Paddy, and we were kind of like, this is working out quite well. Let's try and write some original music. So that's how it kind of started. But I don't know, we kind of didn't want to be writing like what would you call it, like trad, like standard
straight
trad.
ahead, like we didn't particularly want it to be straight ahead, so we had we had influences like Hiatus Kaiyote and those kind of bands.
Badbadnotgood and yeah, stuff, something, yeah, a little bit more, I guess, soul, future soul, jazz, pop kind of stuff. Yeah.
So there's definitely a wide range of influences there. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
And where did you two first meet? Do you have much experience performing separately? How did the band kind of get started in its current form, we'll say?
I think it was Riverfest, wasn't it?
Oh,
yeah. Riverfest, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was on before the lads, just doing like some covers at Riverfest last summer.
No, I think it's me and Rory were playing Riverfest.
Were you on before me?
Damien Fraser. Were you playing on gigs?
I was on before you.
Yeah.
And I was like, who are these guys? Have to play with them. So yeah, I just approached the lads and were like, do you want to have a jam or whatever? Yeah, and we just kind of got together to play for fun. And I love writing. Like I've been writing songs and stuff for years, and I've done lots of different kind of things. But like my first kind of love has always been jazz. So, you know, when I met Paddy, I just thought he was such a fantastic jazz player. I thought it would be great to try and write some original music, you know, with him. And then we kind of went through a different couple of formations with bass and drums. But then for the EP, we had Danny Lanham and Ben Wonders, and Ben recorded it in his studio in town and mixed it and stuff. And that's kind of the current formation of the band as it is at the moment.
Yeah, so just to clarify, you're both from Limerick, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, you met at Riverfest and decided to play a few songs together. When did kind of the formal process start of deciding to record and release a few tracks and release an EP? When did that process kind of start?
We spent a good while writing. So, when did we actually start recording? Was it February?
We recorded before Christmas, didn't we?
Yeah. Why?
Before Christmas, yeah. Or was it over December?
I think, well, what were we doing in December? We were gigging a dare in December, so.
Maybe it was before then.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the first week in January.
I think it was January.
It was January. Yeah.
This whole year is kind of blurry.
We were writing songs the whole way through last summer. We just wrote we just put loads of different ideas together, basically. Yeah. And then we actually did a couple of gigs with just doing, say, the 4 or 5 songs that we'd originally written.
I played open mics, doing that
kind of stuff as well. And stuff, yeah. And then in January I was kind of going away for a few weeks, so I was like, let's get these songs recorded before I head away. Mm-hmm. And we were going to do some gigs when I came back, and then it was like, nothing's happening anymore. The world has ended.
So, you decided to put together the EP, and you were recording it before you had to go away on a trip. Was it a big step up? Do you think it's a lot of work kind of promoting an EP or promoting tracks, sending them out to radio stations, that kind of thing? Do you think that's kind of
Paddy's favorite thing to do?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he loves it. He loves that. No, I'm only joking. Paddy absolutely hates it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like to be honest, I don't know. I don't think many musicians like enjoy that side of the process. It's very far removed from like being creative and writing songs. It's like it's an admin role in a way. I do it because I'm just kind of, I guess I'm used to it at this point, and I have started enjoying it the more I've been doing it. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be like constantly putting yourself out there online, and there's just so much other noise and things happening, and it's easy to get like, I guess, fall down a rabbit hole, and also get discouraged as well, because when you're a new band and you're just trying to become established and have people listen to your music, it's not easy. But I suppose it's just about like keep up putting out good music. And
we had a bit of a content problem as well towards the start of the year with the lockdown, like, because we couldn't meet up to record together, like, so we didn't have anything to put out on Instagram, so it was just trying to find kind of creative solutions to that, like, that was cool.
Like we just had the photos that we'd taken like when we recorded the EP, and a couple of videos that I'd taken on my phone, but like we had nothing to kind of actually promote the music with, because we hadn't gotten together in such a long time. So but we're getting there.
So can you tell us a bit more about the EP? What's the EP called, for starters?
Solo Heroes.
And can you tell us a bit more about the tracks on the EP, and what kind of what were the inspirations behind the music on the EP?
What do you think, Paddy?
Well, I think, like, I mean, definitely like bands like Hiatus Kaiyote and stuff we would listen to a lot. And then like the chords, I mean, because when we're writing songs, like, I mean, I come up with some chords and then Jane puts it into Logic or whatever and she turns it into a song. So like I find that process really amazing, like, you know. I just get these abstract chords and then Jane turns it into a song. So like they're all fairly different, like the 4 songs we have on the EP. Like, so.
Like there's, I guess, well, the first single, London, is basically inspired by the time that I spent in London. I was there for like almost 10 years. I studied there and stuff, and I lived there for ages and worked there. Paddy spent a bit of time in London as well, and kind of just wanted it to be like, especially towards the end, I had this idea to have it sound like a jazz jam, you know, like a jam that you would just go to. So it kind of breaks into like a free kind of jam towards the end, which sounds really cool. And there's, I don't know, there's not kind of a contrast between the verse and the chorus is quite a big contrast. Like the verse is quite static, and then the chorus like opens out and stuff. And it's kind of atmospheric, isn't it? I guess just trying to encapsulate whatever that feeling of being in a really big city that has lots of things going on, you know.
Plus, we were trying to get a sound like of like the background noise in a city, like say if you were living in the city with instruments. So like, I mean, I was playing sax and flute on it as well, like, so. Yeah,
and I think there was traffic sounds in there at one point, but I don't think they made the final cut. There's like some weird sounds going on in the background anyway.
So in terms of promoting the EP, do you think that not being able to do live gigs in recent times, do you think that's been a challenge in terms of promoting your music and preparing for the release of the EP?
Well, like the hardest thing, like we said a few minutes ago, is that like we didn't have content to promote, like, you know, because we didn't have recordings. So it was only recently we actually got together again to start kind of record, like around Brooklaw's thing.
Yeah, we did Brooks thing.
In London.
We just get together and take a photograph, or whatever, you know. It has been really hard. Like, it's been really hard because we're a brand new band, so we don't have like a whole kind of stream of past things that we've done or whatever. So trying to kind of keep it interesting and keep it moving forward when we can't, I guess we like to go out and play. That's kind of, and that's what we wanted for the band. We wanted it to be more of a live thing where, you know, we get together like with other musicians, go out and do gigs and stuff. So that's been really hard. So we've had to kind of rethink how we're going to move forward and how we're going to release songs and how we're going to, like, what we're going to do, basically.
But we have started writing again. So
yeah, we started writing.
Yeah.
I'd love to have an album. Like,
yeah, for sure.
That's like
the goal. Like,
that's the goal, is to have an album.
Have you had many opportunities to do live gigs? Obviously not in the past few months, but in general, have you had many opportunities to do live gigs after that initial meeting during Riverfest last year?
Yeah, we played a good bit.
We played a lot, yeah, but it was mostly like traditional jazz stuff. And then like when we had a band together, we were playing more like soul covers, like Let's Stay Together and all those kind of things.
Yeah, we did a really nice gig in the commercial. Like, I can't remember exactly when it was, but yeah, we kind of promote. That was our first thing that we promote. Oh, it was for the jazz festival. It was for Limerick Jazz. So yeah, we promoted it. We, you know, that was like our first gig as Eve's record box, I guess. Yeah. That was really nice. Went really well. Got great feedback from that, and like, yeah. And I guess we were hoping to do a couple of gigs over the summer. Get the single out, get another single out, you know, try and get on a couple of like smaller jazz kind of festivals or whatever during the summer, but hopefully next summer things will be back in action.
I actually think I seen a video of that gig in the commercial bar on YouTube. But you know, Limerick is known for having a lot of different musicians in it. So do you think that there's a certain kind of do you think it's a competitive scene in any way in Limerick?
Hell yeah, it's pretty competitive for sure. It's great. Like, competition is healthy, you know. It makes people raise their game, and it makes people like literally it raises the bar. Like, I think it's a great thing that there's so much music going on in Limerick at the moment.
There's kind of a hunger for original music as well, like, which is good. I mean, like singer-songwriters seem to do very well in Limerick. Like,
you know. And rappers, all the rap scene is like proper taking off. It's brilliant. If there's no competition, then the standard, it just isn't there. So I just think, it's brilliant to get this competition, you know.
Yeah, and you know, what I've heard some people say is because of lockdown, you know, people are spending more time on their phone. People are going to be listening to a lot more music. So now is a good time to be releasing music. Is that something that you'd agree with, or would you have a different view?
100%, yeah. I think it's a good time. I mean, that's what I was saying to you at the start. I was like, let's start releasing, because people are going to be just stuck inside, and people will be more likely to click on stuff, like click through and listen to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then but the thing is that there's such a high volume of stuff going on now. So in a way, it's kind of offset itself, really.
You know, you also mentioned difficulty in terms of sending tracks to radio stations and the whole admin side of things, we'll say. Do you think it's a challenge kind of consistently posting on social media and that kind of thing as well? Or is that a bit easier than the really nitty-gritty of, you know, emails and admin and that kind of thing?
Well, it's more enjoyable, the Instagram stuff. Yeah. When we have stuff to post, like, because we're meeting up now in the last few weeks, like, and we've posted a couple of things. I mean,
yeah.
Not a whole
when there's stuff to post, then that's far more enjoyable, because
you
get the dopamine hit when you get likes.
People are listening. People are watching. But just sitting there emailing out like a big list of emails, and half of them bounce back because like people come and go so quick as well, can be pretty discouraging. You know, you're kind of there going like, I just wanted to make music. What am I actually doing? If you want people to hear the music, then you have to sit there and do emails.
So in terms of the music that you've released already on the EP, do you think you have a favorite track at all, or is that a difficult question to answer?
I think Solo Heroes is the most listenable, but I really like The Void as well. Like the end of that is really cool, I think. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I really like The Void as well. It's kind of a bit more left. It's less commercial than London or
we had Ben, like, I mean, Ben plays a lot of rock, like, and he's really great at that stuff. Like, I mean, Ben's time is just amazing, like, you know.
Yeah, there's some fantastic drumming happening on the tracks. Like, brilliant playing all around, to be fair. But yeah, The Void, is that my favorite one? I can't decide. I think it might be London. I think that one might be my favorite one. Yeah, I think so.
So can you tell me about your creative process? Let's say everyone meets up and wants to write a bit of music. Do you think that, is it easy or hard to write songs? Do you ever think you get writer's block, or do things kind of flow naturally?
Well, like, we've had pretty much the same creative process for most of the songs. Like, I mean, it's just me and Jane writing so far. Like, so we meet up and, like, maybe I'll just play some chords and she tells me what she likes, and then we find different avenues just for the harmony first, and then Jane will put it into Logic or whatever and play around with the form where certain sections are coming in and stuff, and turns it into a song, like, you know.
And then it was good then when the lads kind of came on. They just played on it pretty naturally, I thought.
Yeah. And it brought something to it as well.
Yeah. Like there has been a couple of times when, because at the beginning there was just so many ideas, I suppose. And then there was, I think, London actually. So like London was kind of weird. I kept trying to write to it, and I kept like being like, Paddy, I'm sorry, I just can't. There's nothing coming to me for this tune at all. And then weirdly, it's turned out to be like one of the strongest tunes. It's just so weird. Like if you kind of stick at something. But yeah, this definitely, I go through periods of like feeling really, really creative and like writing loads, and then nothing then for a while. You know, I'll kind of try and focus on just finishing what I've started working on. And I'm kind of out of the creative headspace, and I'm more in the kind of like, where I try and finish stuff, try and post stuff, try and record stuff. So yeah, it kind of goes in a cycle really. Because I was in the past always being creative and always writing and never really finishing things, which I think isn't probably a great, like, that's not really a great place to be at. You're never going to get the satisfaction of finishing something, you know? So yeah.
And when you are writing tracks, do you try and set like an initial vision early on of what you want a particular song to be or what you want it to be about, or is it a more experimental thing where you kind of make it up as you go along?
The biggest battles we have in the writing anyway is that, like, I'd be like, this sounds like a chorus, and Jen knows that's definitely a verse, like, so that's the hardest part, like trying to find out which is the chorus and which is the verse, like, and then what the other sections are, like.
Yeah, and then sometimes we might talk about like subjects or whatever we might want something to be about. Yeah. And then I'll just go off and write something totally different. No, I don't know. I think they're all different in a way as well. Like I don't know, I do believe that ideas come to you. Like ideas are already hanging around somewhere in the ether, and then, you know, if you're receptive to them, they'll land on your doorstep.
Okay.
Could have easily landed on someone else's. Like, so things happen in different ways, you know, for sure.
So coming out of lockdown, do you have any plans for the immediate future to kind of get back out there and start performing again, or is it too early to say what's going to happen there?
I think a video would be good. For the single, the main kind of radio single, which is Solo Heroes. So I think we're going to try to do a video and just see through it, releasing the EP online, and I don't know.
Keep writing as well.
Keep writing. Yeah. Keep trying to start up the writing again as well, now that we can get together again. But for gigs and stuff, I'm happy to just leave it off for a while, I think. Like, I just think there's no point in trying to force it if it's going to be really awkward to try and arrange gigs and that. Like, just when the time is right to start back playing, you know, the time is right. So until then, it'll just be trying to, you know, get the releases heard by people and do a couple of videos and write a few more tunes.
And how has lockdown affected your workflow? And do you think that you got much done when you couldn't physically meet up, or was everything on pause for that time?
A lot of it was on pause. I mean, the
Pause.
Instagram stuff was on
Big
pause,
time,
really. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
It was totally on pause. I actually went and wrote a couple of solo kind of tunes, just purely because I was feeling creative, but I had no chords from Paddy. It was terrible. So I wrote a few solo tunes. What were you up to?
Practicing mostly, like just getting the chops together and stuff, like, so.
Yeah, so that was kind of a quiet period. We didn't get together for like 10 weeks. So yeah, it's good to be doing stuff again, moving forward.
So I guess in kind of, the EP is out. The EP, it's coming out at the time of recording. There's some difficulties you mentioned before we started, but it will be out by the time this goes up. Going forward in kind of the short term, what are your plans for the next while in terms of, are you going to start writing again soon, or what do you want to start doing next?
Video.
Yeah, video.
Videos
And writing as well.
And just keep writing. Yeah, that's the plan. Write some more songs, make a video for the lead single of the EP. Yeah, that is the plan.
So you mentioned as well earlier on that you're very interested in doing an album. Is there any particular plans for that right now, or is that something to be looked at in the future?
Not right away, like, but definitely to be looked at in the future, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'd need to write another 4 or 5 tunes.
Yeah.
But then, like, out of, not every tune you write is going to make it to the album anyway. So, like, you've got to probably have like twice as many before you can whittle it down to another couple to actually bother to go and spend your like resources on recording and everything. So, yeah, it'd be another couple of months before we'd have enough tunes ready for an album. But that's the plan. Yeah.
And do you think that you have much music on the backlog? Let's say, do you think that you have ideas and lyrics and stuff written that you can work on, or are you kind of starting from scratch when trying to get things up and running again?
It's kind of starting from scratch, like,
yeah, start from scratch.
But like, I mean, whatever it is, we are fairly creative when we seem to get together to actually start writing songs, like, so.
Yeah,
it's just a case of meeting up more and writing.
Yeah, it's plenty of ideas. It's no shortage of creativity, like, between us. We seem to work really well together. But yeah, it's just kind of all the logistics of it and getting things finished, recorded, demos down, and that's the part that makes the process long.
Okay. So on a longer term basis, what would your hopes be for the band, and kind of where do you want to take it, or where do you hope that the group will go in the future?
Well, it'd be good to have some success with an album, like, and then obviously like festivals and stuff as well. Festivals would be nice to play, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it'd be just nice to have an album, like a really decent album.
Then we could gig and we could tour it as well.
Go out and gig. Yeah. That would be, like, for me, that's, go out and gig and just enjoy performing music. Yeah, be nice to get some play, Irish, like, radio play with some of the bigger DJs, like, say.
I think once you're played on John Creedon, like,
once you're played on John Creedon, you've made it. Like, so if John Creedon plays our music, then that's for me.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, I can retire then.
Then mission accomplished. Right, so we're nearly out of time. Again, I'd like to thank you guys very much for coming on. Before we leave, do you have any kind of closing thoughts or closing words?
Yeah, I don't know. I think just kind of other people are making music. It's not a great time. It's not an easy time for any of us. So just stay strong.
Thanks a million.
Stay strong and stay safe. Keep writing those tunes.
I'm sure many will appreciate that. And where can people find you if they're looking on social media and online? where can they find you?
Well, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
And our email is available, like, if anyone needs to contact us as well. Like,
Okay.
So it's Eve's Record Box. Yeah, if you just put that into any of the socials, you'll find us. We're on Bandcamp. The single is up on Bandcamp at the moment, and you can go on there and have a listen. And yeah, that's it. That's where you can find us.
Okay, well, thanks very much. This has been Jane and Paddy from Eve's Record Box. Thanks very much for coming on, guys.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.